With Nintendo recently announcing in a Nintendo Direct that they'd be accepting fan-requested characters for possible future DLC for Smash Bros., I couldn't help but make a video on the top 10 characters that I'd most like to see in the game. So without further ado, these are my top 10 DLC characters that I'd like to see in Super Smash Bros. For 3DS and Wii U. Not gonna lie, I've never played a BanjoKazooie game in my life. My first console was a Dreamcast, so my experience with playing Nintendo 64 games on the actual Nintendo 64 is limited to the times that I played Donkey Kong 64, Ocarina of Time, and Majora's Mask at my cousin's house. Either that or playing remakes of the games on the Virtual Console. With that said, I've seen enough about BanjoKazooie around the internet from guys like JonTron to know that they would be a great fit for Smash Bros. Plus, this Phil Spencer guy from Microsoft recently tweeted that he'd be cool with it. And I think we all know what Nintendo was really trying to do when they announced Duck Hunt in Smash. Truth be told, I haven't played that much of the Star Fox series, and I don't know too much about Crystal either. But just seeing images of her, I can gather that she has far more potential for an interesting moveset than, say, Wolf. I mean, just look at that staff. We've never had a Smash character that's used the staff before. Plus, with a new Star Fox game just on the horizon, see what I did there? There's no better way to drive up hype for the game than to add a new character from the series to Smash Bros. God knows we don't need another Landmaster. Alright. So out of any other character on this list, this one is probably the most off the wall I could have chosen. I doubt the majority of you even know who Billy Hatcher is. Even among Sonic fans like myself, he's rather obscure. Long story short, Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg was a game developed back in 2013 by Sonic Team for the GameCube. I played the heck out of the game back when I was a kid. Call me nostalgia blind, but I think he would be a perfect fit for Smash Bros. Plus, the man wears a chicken suit. How can you not immediately fall in love with him? Let me just start off by saying that no, Paper Mario would by no means be another clone of Mario like Dr. Mario. Anyone who's played a Paper Mario game can tell you that he has a vast library of unique moves to pull from that could make him play completely different than Mario. Despite the fact that his two most recent games were less than satisfactory when compared to his first two, I still feel Paper Mario holds enough relevance in the eyes of gamers to justify his inclusion in Smash. His playstyle could focus around rewarding players for accurately timed attacks that do more damage than normal attacks. And his final smash could turn the entire stage into a, well, stage, just like in the Thousand Year Door, and have him use a special move like Supernova to annihilate anyone who gets caught in it. With the recent release of Majora's Mask 3D, there's no better time to bring back everyone's favorite little hero of time. But didn't Toon Link replace Young Link in Brawl, you may ask? In a sense, yes, he did replace him in Brawl. They replaced one smaller Link clone with another smaller Link clone. Which is why I want them to give Young Link's moveset a complete overhaul. Instead of just making him another clone of Link, they should focus his moveset around his mask transformations from Majora's Mask. They could implement them similarly to how they treated the Pokemon trainer in Brawl. Deku Link could be light, fast, and have great recovery, but not deal as much damage or knockback. Zora Link could be a midweight that deals high damage but average knockback, and has a poor recovery. Goron Link could be a heavyweight with slow attacks that have a ton of knockback. Do I even need to say what Young Link's final smash should be? So if you're like me, when you saw Sakurai's pick of the day back in August announcing that Girahim would only be making an appearance in Smash 4 as an assist trophy, you probably climbed into your bed and started sobbing uncontrollably. Now, Skyward Sword is by no means my favorite Zelda, but I think most people would agree that the best part of that game was how colorful the characters' personalities were. And for me, the winner of the Most Interesting Character award has to go to Girahim. He's one of the most entertaining Zelda villains we've gotten in such a long time. I mean, sure, there was that part in Twilight Princess where Zant went all crazy for like 5 minutes, but aside from that, most of the Zelda villains we've gotten are just your generic sit in the background and look menacing types. There's one more, but Sakurai decided to make him an assist trophy too. Anyway. Girahim has a ton of stuff to pull from for a potential moveset, from dual sword wielding to teleporting, throwing little dagger things. And of course his final smash would have to be his final form from his last boss fight in Skyward Sword. Plus, it's about time we got a Zelda villain who isn't just a clone of Captain Falcon, don't you think? If Donkey Kong Country was one of the first Donkey Kong games you've ever played, then King K. Rool was probably one of the very first Donkey Kong villains you ever faced. He's the main antagonist of the Donkey Kong franchise, and I think it's about time he made his comeback. His trophy description says it best: this guy is basically the Bowser of the Donkey Kong series. Despite his bizarre absence in the most recent Donkey Kong Country games, the appearance of his trophy in Smash 4 verifies that Nintendo is still very much aware of the King of Kremling's existence. If you're like me, you also probably fell prey to Artsy Omni's fake Rayman leak back in February. With that said, there's no better time to make that dream a reality by voting for him in the Smash ballot. It's no secret that Ubisoft's been kind of a jerk to Nintendo in terms of third-party support recently. They've all but abandoned the Wii U in that regard, so some would say that they don't deserve to have their character in Smash. But it wasn't always like that. Back when the Wii U first launched, Ubisoft was one of the only companies supporting the Wii U with games. That all started to change about the same time they decided to delay Rayman Legends and make it a multiplat. Why then should Nintendo allow one of Ubisoft's flagship characters into their fighting game? Well, I think the quality of Rayman games as a platformer in general speaks for itself. Some might even say his games rival that of Mario in terms of pure uniqueness and challenge. It would also be a good way to secure future Rayman releases on Nintendo consoles, possibly kickstart the flow of third-party games from Ubisoft on the Wii U again. For the three of you out there who don't already know who Shovel Knight is, he's from an indie-developed game by Yacht Club Games that's gained a substantial amount of popularity in the past year. I recently bought the game on my Wii U, and while I haven't fully completed it yet, I can already tell that Shovel Knight would be a great addition to the Smash Bros. Roster. Sure, he's still technically a third-party character, but just imagine how many cool and unique moves from his game that they could bring to Smash. He'd fit right in with the rest of the Nintendo crew. Not to mention how cool it would be to be the first indie-developed character to make it into Smash.
Did you miss me?
Do I even need to explain why Bayonetta would be a perfect fit for Smash Bros? She's all but a Nintendo exclusive now, seeing as Nintendo themselves resurrected the series by funding Bayonetta 2. So what better way to promote her popularity and increase fan demand for Bayonetta 3 than by putting her in Smash? She has a ton of awesome moves to pull from her games. Her final Smash could be the most exaggerated and over-the-top in Smash history, reminiscent of her own games. So what did you think of my top 10 DLC characters list for Smash 4? Let me know in the comments and maybe share some characters you'd like to see in Smash 4 in the future. Feel free to leave a like if you enjoyed the video.